Hi, in this first video I'm going to show you just how easy it is to get started with the ChiWeb framework. This folder you see here, this is the folder containing the ChiWeb Equinox app. That's right, the framework comes as an app, so you can then merge this app with your own applications. Now you probably know that when it comes to the web, Equinox stores everything in the www folder, so let's take a look. Inside this folder we provide all of these files. Most of these are just demonstration files, but it also includes the important scripts, JavaScript, CSS, and of course error files. Okay, so how easy is it to get started with this framework? Well, first of all, let's look at the demonstration files that comes with it. When you load up the Equinox app in your browser, this is what you'll be greeted with, the ChiWeb framework demo. So this includes lots of ready-made demonstration files. But I'm just going to show you quickly exactly how easy it is to create your own files. So how do we do that? Well, if we go back to the www folder, you'll see I've created an empty file called demo.esp. Let's open that up. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to create just a simple page with a little bit of text on it. So how do I do that? Well, first of all, we use the opening and closing tags to say that we're writing Equinox code. Then we write, I don't know, let's write it just for demonstration, let's say a web output saying hello world. Okay, so now when we go to the browser, if I type in demo.esp, I should see, there we are, hello world. Okay, well that's pretty, but it's not very useful. So how can the framework make this look a bit prettier? Well, the framework contains a lot of procedures, one of which is ChiWeb header. It takes one argument, which is the title, so I'll say demo. This is the title that appears in the title bar of the browser. And there's also another procedure called ChiWeb footer, which doesn't take any arguments. So if we put these in front of and behind the web output and then refresh the page, you'll see we get a lot of things for free. We get this menu, we get this nice round box, we get a copyright notice, and we even get a text size changer. So we've got all of that just by writing these 2 lines of Equinox code. No HTML, no CSS, no JavaScript, just Equinox code that we already know. Okay, so that's how to get started in writing a simple page. But what if you want to do something a little bit more complicated, maybe to list the contents of a database? Well, in the demonstration files we also include a ready-made database of customers with fake names and everything. So how do we list that, the list of customers on the page? Well, normally it might require quite a bit of code. You would have to write HTML for tables and how to sort the tables, how to style the tables, all sorts of things. But with the framework it's very easy. So let's show you. So we would use a function called ChiWeb list db contents. Oops. Now this procedure takes a few arguments. The first argument is the name of the actual database table. Now my database table is called customer. Now the second argument is how I would like to sort the customers. So I have already made an index called iSurname, which lists the customers by their surnames. The third argument, this is the page which we'd like the user to go to if they click on one of the customers. So when it lists the customers, I want them to click on it and then be taken to somewhere else. Well, I've already created a page called editRecord.esp. So when they click on the customer, I'd like them to be taken to that page. The fourth argument is the unique ID of that record in the database. So for example, in my customer database, I always make sure to give every customer a unique ID number, which is called, funnily enough, customer ID. The next argument is it has to be the names of the columns, because if we're going to list the contents of this database, we'd like nice friendly column names at the top. So it needs to be passed to the procedure as an array. So it's called columns array. And finally, the very last argument is another array which lists the names of the fields in the database we want to show. Because my customer table has lots of information for the customer. things such as their city, their postcode, their gender, but I might not want that displayed in my list. I might just want their name and a telephone number. So I'm going to provide a list of fields to load, and these should correspond with column names. So let's create these two arrays. I'm going to copy and paste these to declare them. Of course they're arrays, so we have to add the brackets on the end. Okay, so first of all let's make the columns array. So I want the first column to be called last name, the second one first name, oops, and I think we'll have a third column of the telephone number. Let's call it telno. And now we need to tell it what the corresponding field names are in the database. So last name is called surname in the database. First name is called first name, but without a space. Our telephone number is simply called telephone. Okay, so all we've done is write 4 lines of Equinox code. Let's see what happens when we load it in the browser. Aha, you see we've now got a list of all of the customers in the customer database table. We can even click on the column names to sort them. We've got all this functionality just by writing 4 lines of Equinox code that we already know. No HTML, no JavaScript, no CSS. See how easy that is? And if we click one of them, I'll be taken to my other page which I've already created. So please check out the other demo videos to show you some other cool things you can do with the framework.